The ship crested the last wave. The storm had passed, and beyond it, the sky opened like a curtain drawn back for the final act. The island appeared not as a paradise, but as a graveyard of truths. Laugh Tale, the final destination. The place where the world's lies came to die. And in the center of it, beneath moss and time, stood the final poneglyph. It wasn't carved in despair, it was carved in laughter. Not because the writers didn't understand the weight of what they left behind, but because they did. It was their final rebellion. Their joke, their truth. The story told on that stone didn't just recount what happened during the Void Century. It revealed what was meant to happen next. 1,000 years ago, the ancient kingdom didn't merely wage war, they foretold its return. They knew they would lose, knew that their enemies would wipe them from memory, so they encoded a timeline into the poneglyphs, synchronizing it with the planetary alignments, the movements of sea currents, and even the rise of specific bloodlines. Every major event since then, the birth of the D-Bearers, the awakening of the ancient weapons, the great pirate era sparked by Roger, was not coincidence. It was choreography, a cosmic countdown to the rebirth of Joy Boy, the fruit that became Luffy's power. It was passed through centuries, not because it was forgotten, but because it waited. For the right host, for the one who would make people laugh in the face of despair, who would gather a crew not of soldiers, but of mirrors each, one reflecting a part of the broken world the ancient kingdom tried to protect. Every straw hat was chosen not by fate, but by design. Zoro, the swordsman who can cut through impossible odds, mirrors the ancient warriors who defended the kingdom with strength and honor, never seeking glory, only peace. Nami, a cartographer born from trauma, is destined to redraw the world map one, without borders, where the seas are one. Usopp, the liar who became a hero, carries the dreams of a world where legends are born, not from blood, but belief. Sanji, born from twisted science, chooses empathy over power. He is the proof that bloodlines do not determine destiny. Robin, the scholar of O'Hara, is the bridge between the lost world and the one to come. Her knowledge is the flint that lights the fire. Frankie, the builder, was unknowingly raised by the blueprints of Pluton. His hands were made to shape the future. Brook, the soul unchained by time, is the echo of the past, laughing through death. Proof that the will can survive even the grave. Jinbai, the fishman, is the answer to centuries of oppression of voice from the deep rising to the surface. And Luffy the Heart, not a king, not a god, but a friend. The one who never asks for loyalty, and yet receives it in full. Together, they form more than a crew. They are the resurrection of the ancient kingdom, the dream of unity in living form. There was one more thing on that island, not a treasure, not a crown, but a message etched, not in stone, but in memory, projected through an ancient device that reacted to Luffy's heartbeat. A recording, perhaps of Joy Boy himself, or his closest comrade. It said, "If you're hearing this, you made it. You brought them with you. You did what I couldn't. I failed to keep my promise to the mermaid princess. I failed to protect our kingdom, but your era's ready. You have the friends, the weapons, the will. Break the chains, tear down the wall, bring the dawn." It ended with laughter. The kind of laughter that makes you cry. Because the One Piece was never meant for one person. It was the knowledge of everything, the truth, the shame, and the hope. A mirror held to the world. The One Piece is the world. Not as it is, but as it should be. As the Straw Hats turned from Laugh Tale, another shadow moved. Aimu had already activated the ancient weapon in the Skya power no one believed existed. It had destroyed Luluzia, but now it was aimed at entire oceans. Not to conquer, but to erase. The final war was not one of armies, but of truth versus denial. Blackbeard, who sought chaos, the celestial dragons, who sought control. The Marines, caught in between, and Luffy, who only wanted his friends to be free. Dragon led the revolution. Shanks made his move. The world split, and then, in one final act of rebellion, the Straw Hat Pirates returned to Red Line Knot to conquer it, but to destroy it. With Pluton rising from beneath Wano, with Poseidon commanding the Sea Kings, with Uranus awakened at last from its celestial slumber, the three ancient weapons, wielded not in hatred, but in harmony, converged. The red line cracked, Mary Geoise collapsed. The world changed shape. And then, the sea became one again. Fishman Island rose to the surface. The all-blue was no longer a mythwit, was everywhere. Borders fell, the Gorosei perished, Emu disappeared perhaps into the void from which they came. And on an island with no name, a boy in a straw hat sat on a rock, eating meat, laughing with his friends. He didn't want to be king, he never did. He just wanted to be free. And now, so was everyone else.